You never know when madness is going to find you. You just never know what might happen. You're just sitting there fine, and then all of a sudden, you go mad. Everything goes bad. Start going crazy. The suits wearing very nice. Thank you. Yes, I like to make sure that the employees have very nice attire. I want to make sure that they are well dressed, well kept. Outfits are stain resistant, water resistant, electrical resistant, all those fun things. Hello again and welcome to Art with Mad Mel. I am the Madman and this is the man here. We are happy to see you all. I'm glad that you all are here. I hope that you understood the message the man had for you guys. Hope it wasn't too jarring for you. I had fun editing that. Well, actually, he wanted me to do that since that was when he used to have a physical body. But, yet again, I found all the tapes from when we went to Lab 3 and converted him how he wanted it done, how he organized everything. So I have those I found. I'll be sharing those probably in the future. So yeah, I hope you guys are ready for that. Anyways, tonight we're going to be working on the coloring book again. I am on page 9. And I got a little something special for you guys, for the mad ones. A little collective picture of the backyard. Throw a couple of you guys back there. I don't know who yet, but I know I want to have a couple of you in the backyard having a fun time with how I put it, as a realistic looking painting, right? Music louder than your voice? Oh, of course I'm sure it is, because the microphone is doing this normal stuff where it is not picking up my head, my voice, or any of that yet again. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. I went through too much complication with it before. It's fine, and the song's over. But anyways, we're going to go to the table, so let's take a look and see what we're doing tonight. Here's the picture. Netrunner. See, the picture that I had beforehand, let me show you guys what I had before, so that way you know what was going on. The last time you were here, we were working on, let's see, well, the last two I should show you. Number 7 and number 8. So here's number 8. This one came out pretty well. I liked how this one came out. Gave her the little baseball bat. Still got to work on this little part here, which isn't much of that big of a deal, which I'll probably fix out right now since I'm thinking about it. I actually go to the right part of it. But I was thinking about definitely been playing some cyberpunk, and just had an idea, just a lot of ideas. And, having a baseball bat, especially with like the little bubbles in it like a lava lamp, I thought that was cool. So try to go with that a little bit. And I like the way that it turned out. So we got this one here. I got that saved, and I'll just save that again like usual. Alright. And I like the little nod to Betty Boop with the hair and the glasses. Kind of a different twist on some older 60s glasses I saw. So went on ahead and did that. Gave it a nice little different look to the necklace, and then the cat tattoo. The arm took me a while. This took me some time to do, and I like how the arm came out. And then we have number 7, which I fixed this. This one turned out to be quite well as well. I like what I did here with the arm. As you can see here, there's some nanotech there. I like to put the little lines here. And of course, when I finish it up and get all the lines cleaned up, it'll look a lot better because I do that. But it's not. That's a afterthought thing when I'm getting ready to print. I usually go through and make sure the lines look all right and get everything situated. But yeah, I always like the look of like the data, the little like hexagon shape. Whenever there's like skin that has any type of tech on it, that's what I like to do, to add that little extra effect to it. So I got somebody that's basically a corpo, right? And then we got the street kid right? And then tonight's going to be the net runner, and this is going to be basically like a bunch of wires and a whole bunch of stuff, kind of a tribute to that a little bit. So I'm going to be working on this, and then here's the prime thing that I was going to work on, which I was going to do this for the mad ones. We're in the backyard here, and there's a canvas on the ground, and I was doing the line work, and there's something that comes out of the canvas as somebody's walking up, and they see this, and there's me, and there's the Duchess, and we're looking very... I'm not surprised at all. Actually, this happened about 2 weekends ago, and what happened is I was showcasing a picture. There we go. And I was sitting there in the back, and it was just a little gazebo thing, nothing serious, right? And then there was a couple people back there. They're like, oh man, let me take a look at that painting. And I'm like, hey, be careful with it. It's a prototype. And they're like, man, I don't see nothing crazy in here. And the prototype was, you manifest when you say whatever it is. I threw enough mad energy in there from the collective of this world. And I just dumped it all on the canvas. And the canvas came out screaming it wanted more. And then when they said, okay, well, let me see what you got. I don't believe it. I don't see nothing mad in here. And I said, look a little closer. Put a little bit more into it. The Duchess said, don't do that. That was a bad idea. But I said, it's fine. They'll be okay. And then, don't even know the mad one that came around the corner, but I heard them say, oh, whoa, what's going on here? It's a terrible sight. But we'll get to that in a little bit, right? So, let's go on ahead and go over here. Let's get some music going like we always do. And you guys throw something in the chat, because I didn't find anything today interesting to talk about. Like, I really thought about something, like maybe I could have a discussion. The only thing I can discuss, and I will probably talk about this, and it's dealing with art, and it's straight ahead. I'll just be real upfront with you guys. So, one thing I want to talk about is process and explanation of your artwork to other people. I think that explaining what you're doing if you're an artist is important. Being able to explain what's going on and how do you explain what's going on. You know, a lot of these things I get asked on a normal basis about pieces of work that I do. Sometimes people don't fully understand what I'm working on, but they want to. You know, the intrigue is there and they want to know. And I thought about this for other people who are doing art, or even any type of anything, really. It doesn't have to be art per se, but if you are trying to promote yourself or show something to someone, one thing I want to get off just to begin with, you're going to run into things that are not going to be what you expect. Sometimes you may not get the response that you want. I ran into that myself. There are a lot of times that I show my work to people, and I was trying to keep from hiccuping there. I didn't have a weird twitch or anything like that. I was just trying not to be rude. I tried to scarf down a milkshake earlier. Bad idea. Wouldn't recommend doing that. Not a brain freeze, but just silly. Anyways, I digress. I will say that you know, sometimes you won't get the response that you're looking for, and that's okay. Sometimes it may feel like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. And I've even felt like this, and I've been battling with this. And I feel like it's something I need to talk about before I turn the music on. You know, the expectations of what you want when involving with your artwork or anything that's your craft and trying to explain it to other people who may or may not do your craft. You have to take in consideration that not everybody, what flavor milkshake, cookies and cream, actually. You have to take it with a grain of salt. You're just trying to expand another mind that may or may not be closed. And it may or may not come off the way you want it to. But the fact that you're trying and you're doing it is important. That's the main thing. That's the important thing. You don't want to miss that opportunity, right? And I've ran into that some. I've had moments where I've had somebody ask me a question, and when I was younger, I didn't really fully understand it. Thought that they were making a joke at my expense. Really wasn't the case. And also I missed, well, and another case too where that was a negative, there's also a positive. Falls down to Pulaski to steal my milkshake. Why are you stealing my milkshake? I mean, you know, I wish our teleporter would work. Kyra, I wish my teleporter would work, but every time that we tried to use it, the R&D department keep sending these, I think it's the dynamite that they keep putting on the toads. They keep saying we have to send it through because the interdimensional elves might eat them. I don't know. I'm just here. I do the art. I use my art skills as a way to help. I don't know. That's all crazy. But, before I get too far gone, cookies and cream is the best milkshake flavor. Yeah, I agree. I can't say no, especially if it's done up there with espresso and chocolate. Yeah. You know, now, as dangerous as that is, espresso in your ice cream or a milkshake is dangerous. Period. I mean, that's just you're pouring jet fuel in your car, smoking a cigarette, saying it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. You're playing loose and reckless. I know. I've been there. I've tasted the color of fast before, right? I know what that color tastes like. I felt it in my face, down the whole spinal column, right? I don't know. Some things I think were real at that time. Some things I don't know if that was the case or not. Who ordered 6 shots of espresso with oat milk? Yeah, I remember. Just like the old cafe, I used to hang out with the group. I used to drink the espresso. I used to watch time stop and the sunrise at the Cafe of Cocoa. I remember the nightlife once upon a time that I may or may not have actually been conscious or not. It's like a dream. It's almost like mescaline. It's like you're kind of just out there, right? Not that I've ever had that, but that's kind of what I've heard about. Like, you're just in between a dream state or something. But with espresso, on the other hand, because it works in the brain like a drug, you know, that espresso's always making the back of your head tickle, right? It's tickling your brain, it tickles your spinal column, you know, your eyes start fluttering. Man, this cafe yeah, it's gone. So sad. Breaks my heart. Such a great place. Let me change gears real quick. I'll just do this real quick, and then we'll go and talk about the cafe. So we need to pay homage to that place, because that's where most of this madness that I see and most of these characters that I come up with was partially inspired by some real people that were at this cafe. These people were, if you could just, you know, there are memes that you will see on TikTok where they use like Rammstein and a lot of like cathedral buildings that they would be up there with them. Like, you know, most of these people are tweakers that they make these memes with or whatever. But these people were classified as gems of the Nashville area at one point in time. It was great. You had to have been there. But yeah, basically, I lost my train of thought about what I was trying to say earlier. I really did. I lost my whole train of thought, but that's okay. Main thing is, you're always going to run into something, some type of hiccup, some type of thing that's going to be there. You're always going to have something. There's always going to be something, but you just keep pushing, and you know, you just keep trying. Don't really give up, you know. I'm trying to pick back up where I left off. I completely lost it. Oh, well, whatever. Let's talk about Cafe Coco. Cafe Coco was the spot of spots. Little hole-in-the-wall place right next to this old spot called Magical Journey, where all the inspiring people who wanted to be witches and people who were about that life would run into each other, and you would know who was who and what was what. It was like the best way I could put it, if you remember the Elven market or the black market that they had in what was the name of the movie? It's eluding me right now. Hellboy, the Golden Army. Like, it's like that. Just not everybody's mutated and are creatures. I'm not saying that the people were creatures. Well, I don't know. Some nights it was debatable. It just depended what was going on that night. If it was a concert or anything like that. Also, to let you guys know, I'm using the vector layer. I've already done the line work and got this where I wanted it to be. And I'm doing this in a different way than most people would do it. I'm trying something different because I found the pen. But anyways, they had some of the best food around, some of the coolest people. They also had a bad drug problem. They had a horrible heroin issue. But, you know, it's what happens when it's a hot spot in the city, right? Many musicians played there. Many people who were not actually in a band but just hung out there were awesome. In my journeys there, it was usually either a meetup spot to start the weekend or the last place to go before going home, right? It's where it's like the middle ground. It's like hollow ground, right? From Highlander, you know, it's like hollow ground. You know, everything was copacetic. You would have a little, you know, asshats here and there, but for the most part, it was an awesome place. And then, you know, like everything in town, money comes and outside influence, and then things change and people lose the ability to keep up. And I don't know the whole story of what happened to it, but I will say this: I am happy that I had the experience of having that, and I am so happy that I had that experience with great friends, and we all got to experience that point in time that will probably be forgotten, because it will probably be nothing more than, you know, a couple of tall and skinny apartments where it used to be, or it will just basically turn into an office building or something of the sort. But we had that once upon a time. Not sounding like an old nostalgic man or anything like that, but it's just certain things that, if you have it for a time, it's nice to reflect on. And it's sad when they're gone, but you know, what can you do? Well, I can tell you what you can do. You can, I don't know, stop bringing outside interest into the state and suffocating it till there's nothing left. Yeah, that's right. The world changes, but memories don't. Also, the fact too that people who are greedy, like, you know, getting tax cuts because you're coming from a different state, coming to another state because they want to have that tax revenue coming in, so they want you to come in, but you don't really pay for all the building and constructing that you're doing in the state, and you're tearing up the roads, and you're building up buildings, and you're destroying everything and crushing down historical places on top of just places that used to be there. And then you're moving people around and they're all disheveled. Mind you that the animals are also being thrown all over the place, and you're finding them in weird places like deer and Walmarts and stuff like that. Very bizarre, you know. But what do I know? I'm an artist. Keep drawing. Keep drawing, you silly man. I came here to see art. But what I'm saying is that, you know, yeah, these are memories. And there was a history, and I will say this, for most of us who have left Nashville, and for those of us that are still bopping around, there once was a time where we thought it sucked. We all were guilty of it. We all thought that, oh man, Nashville really sucks. We didn't realize how good we had it back then. We had it really good. We had nightclubs, we had music, we had different things. Yeah, it wasn't the honky tonks that basically cover a quarter of a mile to a half a mile stretch. We didn't have all the woo girls and everything, but we had something. We had something there. We had a nightlife. We had an underground. We had things that were going on. You just had to know the people and know the scene. But now there's nothing there. Well, depending on your taste. But, you know, not everybody likes cardboard cutouts and plastic things. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. What do I know? Right? But, yeah. That was once upon a time. Anyways, that was fun. That was fun. Very fun. I don't know. You want to turn music on or you want me to keep talking? If you guys throw something else in here, I'll just keep talking. Like, I don't care. I like to talk. Like, I like talking. Because I think I have an eloquent voice. I think my voice is very good for radio. And I think it's also very good for anything that's involving with voiceover or being able to explain things in a clear manner where you will be able to fully understand. Hi, my name is Mad Mel, and I am here to draw for you. Also, if you lean your chair back and put your mask on, you will get right. Please do not feel afraid when you start to feel claustrophobic, for that is the machine working as is intended. Thank you, and please enjoy your stay. You know, simple like that. That man's voice made me very soothed. I don't mind that I got a bag on my head. I'm fine. Like, you know, I'm not worried until stuff starts to feel weird and I'm in a bad position. Then I'm like, man, damn, he really got me. He made me buy in. He got me. Oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, I'll give you guys a minute and then I'll turn on the music. Actually, here, we'll just go on and click the music now, why don't we? Where'd it go? Oh no, where did you go? Ah, hello, Bean. Welcome. Thank you for coming back. Good to see you. So here's a question for you. How did you all feel about the message from the man? Oh, if you want to know what happened to him, he's here. He wants to know. You know, still haven't got his body yet, but we're still working on that. You know, he keeps talking about weird things like, I need my body so I can get everything right. You're not doing it the way I need you to. I need you out there with full commitment. I don't know. He's talking real crazy. So I'm like, okay. But I found the files. Been showing you. I showed you guys the first one. That's how I got introduced. That was what the doctor showed me when I first came. And I was like, yeah, I like the yes. I even found the file that has the mantra. The code of the yes. I have the actual name, the code. I found that. And it was great that I found it. You know? It's The Warring Delirium of Yes. That's the book that he wrote. The Warring Delirium of Yes. It's an intense book. Very, very hard thing to read. More of a scroll. He used to say it was a scroll of powerful words. I don't know. But now he's in a dummy body. So, you know, he tortures other people, not me. Don't ask me why. I mean, it's just... Maybe I'm lucky? I don't know. I don't feel like I am. I have patients telling me that sometimes he comes into their rooms and he like chews on their toes and stuff. Real weird stuff. I don't believe him because, you know, I mean, there's all kinds of... You saw what happens in the beginning of the show. I showed you a glimpse of it. You know what's happening here. So, I mean, it's not like I fully believe these people. Except for that one guy that ended up in the rafters and he didn't have his HUD coat on. And he was missing both his legs. I didn't understand that. But I just chucked that up to him just being creative and artistic with, what was that? I called it abstract body art. That's what we chalked it up to and put in his file. That he wanted a deep expression of physical display of discomfort. Yeah, something in that order. Anyways, it went through. We didn't have to deal with anything. Legal took care of it. We're fine. Right? So, yeah, but I'm curious about what do you guys think about the message? Did you get anything from it? Did it make sense to you? I mean, I don't know. Was it too much? Mel, that's too much. I couldn't handle it. It scared me. Shit, that mask. I don't know. Or I felt like I learned everything I needed to from that video. That showed me exactly what my life has needed. I need the yes. What is it? Is it a cult? Is it a religion? None of that. Right there, that's a prosthesis. A prosthesis. There we go. How do you know your breasts are drawn right? Well, you have to have the nosebleed chart. What is the nosebleed chart, you might ask? The nosebleed chart is what I go by. I look at the ratio of how the curve is into how much of a 45-degree angle it needs to curve on the underboob to cause someone to hemorrhage in the nose. The nosebleed method. You need just enough curve to do that right there. You just need enough just for it to have like a couple stress marks, right? Then we can fix that part right up there. You are here to make us think? Well, I try to. I try to make people think. You know, I don't try to get into heavy topics because, number one, I don't want to be on a list more than what I already am. Right? Because I'm sure I'm on someone's list. I'm not even doubting that. That's not even... That never crosses my mind of like, are you not on a list? No, I think I am. I think I'm probably on a couple. I don't, and you know what? That's okay. That's okay, because you know, if I had to go back and speak to some of my peers that I was in school with, and I was talking to them, and they said, what would be the one thing about Mad Mel that you would think? And it would say in the yearbook, most likely to be on a list. And you know, if you know who you are, I mean, why be something that you're not, right? I don't want to be on no list, though. Seriously, though, no, you don't want to be on a list. That's the worst thing possible. They'll come and make you disappear, and just everything's bad. You don't want that. All right, so now we got the gloves. And what we're going to do here, we're going to give it the natural tech glove there. And then I'm going to give this finger some actual nails. There we go. There we go. Hey, yo. Nice. Alright. Nobody else got anything maddening that they want to talk about? Throw it in there. Let me see what you guys got. I don't care. I don't care what you want to talk. You want to talk about inflatable, I don't know, homeless G.I. Joe toys? Fine. I don't care. You can talk about that. You want to talk about, clown meat? Fine. No cannibalism. We try to run a respectable show here. Yeah, whatever they just said. I think I just bought a Fiat. I think they just sold me a damn Fiat. I don't know. I feel like I'm driving I should be in a Fiat commercial, but I'm too big for that. All you would see me is just standing there just like this. And then that would be the whole commercial. It would be this little box. It would be basically just driving through town and then just... No, because I'm too big. I couldn't fit in that. And if I ever did fit in a Fiat, it's probably going to be uncomfortable. I'm probably not going to have a good time. We're going to have a bad time. I hope you guys enjoy seeing the picture of the gentleman that was up there earlier. You know, for the tag. That was an old colleague of mine. He didn't make it out of Lab 3. He's still there. He's still there. He's still alive, but he technically can't leave. They're running experiments on him. It's kind of like the agreement, like, oh, you want to get out of here? Oh, okay. Well, he's going to have to stay here indefinitely. What? Yeah, no, you can't come in here without somebody being left, right? I didn't know that. Nobody told me that. So now he's stuck there. That was the last picture I saw of him earlier this year. He sent that to me. So yeah. Do I think a mix of cowboy meat and clown meat would make a decent sausage filling? I think that would turn into rodeo clown. And I don't know, man. I've heard rumors of rodeo clown meat, but that's an abomination. Like you get put on a list for that. That's listable offenses, man. I don't know. I've always been told get out of the lab every time I've asked that from the doctor. You know, there was one time he wanted to grab me, but then I remember I started drawing something, and then he got scared, and he said, we're going to just agree to disagree. And I said, yeah, you need to chill that out, because I always carry a little sketch pad with me. So he went to grab me. I said, oh, yeah, you want to do that? And, and he got real nervous, right? Because he remembers the last time I kind of, spoke something, and he pulled his, that's why he's got the mechanical eyes. But that's neither here nor there. Right, but I think that you would end up getting a decent mix of a funny yee-haw, right? You would get like a funny yee-haw kind of taste, kind of it would taste like a rodeo burger, kind of, right? Imagine getting a rodeo burger from Burger King, but instead of the hamburger patty, you have like sausage patties, right? And then you would put the onion rings on that, and then the barbecue sauce, and then you would put that like on a bun, a biscuit that's supposed to be the size of a bun because of the patties, the sausage, right? That's the only way I could justify that being a thing. But even then, that's going to be a problem, because if you eat that, you are definitely not going to have a good day. That's going to shut you down in a way you're probably not even mentally prepared for. You think you're going to go to work with that on your stomach? You're insane. You're a funny person. Whoever thinks they can handle that, no, you can't. No, I don't believe you. Nobody believes you. Well, I know I can. Okay, that will be the last thing that you will do, right? Now that will be your grand opus. You will be done after that. Finished. Oh, I used to know that, man. Yeah, in past tense. Yes, definitely in past tense. That's your heart. You hear this? That's your heart. You took one bite. Yeah, that was that. That went down your throat. That's in your stomach now. That's your chest, right? Uh-oh, here's your second bite. That womp, that womp, yeah, that's your artery trying to open. Yeah, people are looking at you. You're sitting there, and your shirt's doing this, right? Because you, yeah, you're in a mess. Ain't nobody gonna help you. They're gonna pull their phone out, and then you take another bite that abomination burger, breakfast sandwich from hell, right? They charge you $12.99 for this sandwich because it's like exotic meat. My ass. And it tastes funny. It tastes a little wild and funny, right? Because, cowboy meat would be a little wild. And then clown meat's always a tad bit funny. And see, it's funny because I ain't gotta say that. Yep, yeah, that's what happened. Oh boy, look at this. I like this. This is a nice looking suit. Netrunners always have short hair. I got something for you. Now, you hear this song, right? Now, imagine it's a fashion show for tractors. Like John Deere's, zero-turn mowers. Yeah, just sit with that for a minute while I work on this. Let's see. Now we need some augments. We need an augment here. Shouldn't be too hard to do this. Oh, wow, that's up there. Turn that down some. Wow. Wow. I'm down to one person. Let me refresh this page. There we go. Let's see here. Tech Dio. Oh, wait, hold on. There. Ah, what are you doing? Oh yeah, that's right. I need to make that. Tech Dio. Interesting. Interesting. There we go. Now we need to put some augments on her. Alright. I think this is looking good so far. Let's zoom in a little bit, you know. I can get a better look here. This is good. Alright, there's all the little finite stuff. There. The music is fire. Oh yeah, of course. I'm not gonna have any like silly music. Of course I'm gonna have the best I can get, you know. That the overlords will let me play. You know, since they, oh my goodness, you can't play that. We don't want you playing that. Oh, we don't want you playing that. You know. Whenever they allow me to be able to play something, you know, because they want their pound of flesh and $3, you know. Whatever. Who cares? But that's the price of doing business. Yeah, shitty business. Right. Good question that you guys threw there. Shit, I messed that up. Hold on. You know what? No, I don't want that. I don't want that. We'll be fine like this. Now the fun part. I want to get some translucent looking wires to add back here just for the background, because that's what I want to do. I always thought of Netrunner suits to look different, right? Like there would be like a different type of fabric that they would use, which I mean it is, but you know. Oh, that's sexy. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. Because I know I was missing that section of the body, right? I didn't forget about it. See, someone was like, hey man, you ain't got that other side. Hey man, where's the rest of that hip? And now you got the hip. Oh, you know, now you can chill out, right? Now you can chill out because someone out there was like, you ain't got the rest of that hip. You ain't got the rest of the hip. Things ain't matching up. Here, let me help you out here. Let me help you out here. Is that better? Is that better? That make more sense. There you go. And no, that's not open. This is all going to be some different type of like fabric, right? That looks fitting. Not a big fan of that. Let's change that up. Well, enough of me jabbering about stuff. How are you guys doing? You guys doing okay? Everybody doing alright? Or not? And if you're not doing okay, I understand. I think we're all dealing with a little something. Oh. No, I don't want that. Stop. I gotta start that over again. One more time. Hold on. Let me make this wire a little bit bigger, so. Oh, of course you're gonna act silly. That's too big. Come on. Fake it till you make it. Yeah. Everybody fakes it till they make it. But once you make it, you gotta stop faking it. Right? Stop faking it once you make it. At some point, you gotta acknowledge and not be fake. right? I think that's where people start to lose credibility, is because you fake it till you make it, but when you make it, you keep faking it. Yeah, I mean, this too shall pass. I mean, everything has its time and season, you know. Everything has a time and a season. Oh boy, that's pretty. Yeah, I like those. Hope this don't scare nobody off. There we go. Alright, one last thing, and then I think we're done with this one. Yeah, and we did it right before 9. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see here. Oh, wow. That could work. Well, that's a weird design. I make it. That's right, but until it will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 8, 7. I got you. I got you on that. Oh wait, that ain't gonna make no sense if she's wearing a daggum glove. That's stupid. Sometimes I forget. I forget what? I'm human. Well, we're all human for now. There we go. Alright. Hey, what do you have? Cowboy meat might be a little bit tough for the cow meat, but adds some sweetness to the mix. Yeah, it's kind of, it's going to have a lot of do, right? And a lot of honk to it. And if you season it right, you might tone down some of the funny. So it isn't so funny tasting in someone's mouth. If I could just shoot lightning out of my hands, that would have been great, right? Would have been amazing. The sucker's melting. What a mess. But this is done, and it looks great. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, page number 9, saved. I'll touch it up later. And I'm listening. Got to. Excellent. Oh, thank you, Asmodeus. What do you have to do? I'm going to show. Okay, go on ahead, get you some. Don't ever not eat if you're hungry. You should eat food if you can. Now, if you're like, man, I don't have a mouth and no bottom jaw and I can't eat because I'm missing sections of my face, I don't know what to tell you then. Okay, like I'm not prepared for that. If you come over here and all this is missing you, and you hold up a sign that says I'm hungry too, what about me? I don't know what to tell you. Right? Like I don't have an idea what to tell you. You come over here missing parts like that. I mean, I'm not going to be rude and be like, yo, what's wrong with you? But I want to be like, I mean, like, what do you do? And then here's the worst part. I'm just going to go on ahead and get this worst part out so we can go on to the next picture, right? I'm going on to, let me see, make sure I saved that. Yep, I sure did. So, okay, now, as we're over here to the next picture, make sure all the line work is done with this. Let me get to the part that's going to be grotesque, right? And this is the part that's probably going to make some people like, oh my God, Mel, you're a nasty, you're a monster. Oh, why would you say that? But could you imagine they don't have the jaw, and then they want you to like, oh man, I need something to eat. And then they're like, oh, put this tube or whatever in my hole in my neck or whatever, throat and whatnot. Now I know there are people in real life that have this, but I've never seen anybody that's just missing a whole quadrant of their face missing. But they got that, and then you get ready to stick that thing in their throat, and they go wah, wah, and you know, like that noise, because it wouldn't be anything there, so it would make like a wah, like that. And then they're just eyes and top teeth. What insanity is this? Man, this is crazy, right? Like, who's out here living their life like that? You are, and I am, and we're having a great time living our lives like that. You know why? Because that's what the yes is all about, you know? There we go. I'm just tone that down just a little bit so it's not an exact copy. You'll see what I'm talking about. Since now I'm using this vector pen, and I'm going to tone it down just a smidge and crank it up just where it needs to be and twist this and pull that, you know. Get your head out of the gutter, chill out. I thought that was going to do something really tough, but it didn't, so what was I expecting, right? There we go. Look at that. There we are. Yeah. You know what this song reminded me of? Why I got it? It reminded me of like one of those option menus back when we used to have great music back during like PS2, PS1, some Xbox, like Xbox, original Xbox. Because they used to play music like this while you were at like the menu for some like racing games and stuff. A person's going to show you theirs. I don't know what they got, but whatever it is, they're going to show you. So you better be ready, because they're going to say, hey, and you're going to be like, what? And then they're going to show you something. You're going to be like, why? And then they're going to say, I told you, I want to show you mine. You didn't listen. And I gave you fair warning a second time, and you still didn't listen. That's on you. Whatever they show you, now you know. Well, Mel, I didn't want to see that. Well, I told you, you had an opportunity to tell them, hey, I don't want to see that. How do you explain that? See, they said, see, how do you explain that? See? I will show you mine. They're telling you what they're going to do. They're going to be like, hey, I don't want that. I don't want nothing from McDonald's. And I'm like, I'll show you mine. And then you say, hey, man. See? It's just a simple conversation. Do you want chicken nuggets or not? You know? If they start promoting other things than the chicken nuggets, you might be in trouble. That's why hitchhiking is so dangerous. You think you're going to go to Waffle House and then you end up in a chop shop for body parts. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. It ain't like I've ever went on any adventures. How do you explain that sign? I don't know. What does it say? No funny meat in my house? You'll show me your sign? What does your sign say? And then it has a whole bunch of clean on writing on it. I don't know what the hell that says. And then he said, well, I showed you mine. Now we're confused. Now we're in a fist fight in the middle of the kitchen. I don't know what's going on. Now, so you know, what does that mean? Buck talk something? What? What'd you call me? And then a whole situation happens. And then you got somebody over there that says Gundams aren't this and mechs are trash, and then next thing you know, someone's throwing a cup of hot water at someone else's face, and it's a whole mess, right? It always starts off with Big O was just nothing more than trash. Someone's like, hey, you better shut your mouth. And then they'll say something else about Cowboy Bebop, and then, you know, someone will get their feelings hurt. And then if you say Dragon Ball Z was a show for the brain dead and the dumb, meathead jocks, then there you go. Now you got yourself a big, huge brouhaha in the middle of your house. How do you know this, Mel? Are you giving us tad bits of information about what's happened to you in your life? I mean, I can't say that I've never been at someone's house or an establishment where hard anime talk came out. People had hard feelings about their anime, and nothing's more entertaining than watching people who are anime fanatics have a complete mental breakdown and they all go at each other like rabid dogs. I know it's terrible. I'm an anime fan myself. What do you mean, Mel? Well, I am of the OVA variety. And if I had to say I had to pick a show that's one of my favorite shows, I would probably say Gantz is one of them, because I do like that show, Gantz, a lot. Well, what about this and what about that? I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of time to watch. Well, it's not really the time. I have the time. I just sometimes I don't find anything entertaining. It's got to be something that really catch my interest, right? Because as you guys can hear, I can tell stories and, you know, write things and create things and make stories and things, so it's kind of, I break my own immersion. Okay, that's what happens with me with anime movies and shows and things like that. I break my immersion. I see the protagonist, I look at the situation, I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, they're about to do da 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 da. And then I see it and I'm like, oh boy, let me guess, this person's da 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 and this person's got blah blah blah. And then after that it's like, yeah, dude, have you seen this before? And I'm like, I'm already done. I just don't even care. Right? So I kind of ruin it for myself. And then at that point it's like, well, just watch it. And I'm like, why? I already know. You know, it's like, what's the point? But here's the funny part. I can listen to spoilers of a game, of a movie. You can tell me a movie from beginning to end. It's fine. But if I hear about a show or something, or even a movie, and it sounds silly, or something I just don't think I'm going to like, yeah, it's... One of these days I'm going to get my soundboard hooked up and you ain't even going to know when it's going to happen, but I'm going to hear a scream one of these days, and it's not going to be like one of those blood-curdling screams. It's going to be like what you hear at the end of the show. You guys aren't even going to be ready for that. No such thing. You hear more or you want more. No, don't drink. Don't drink. Drinking is bad. Seriously, it just puts you in a bad position in life. Just stay away from booze. Well, sake's good. Everything in moderation. Just you know. I'm like over here like, man, don't be drinking all that damn alcohol now. And I'm like, in moderation. You have to know yourself. The liqueur can be a deceptive individual. Whoa, what was that? Uh-oh. Got all these daggone beard brushes. What the hell is this stuff supposed to do? This is more troublesome than it is just to do it myself. That's the only thing about brushes sometimes I can't stand. It's like you get a brush and it's like, oh man, is this going to make my life easier? And it's like, no. Actually, it's not. It's going to make it a hell of a lot harder because you're not going to get it to work the way you want it to. You're going to want it to work a certain way, but then it's going to look at you and do the and laugh at you. It's not. Whoa. That was a little bit too much. I don't want to look like I'm just been over here like I've been binging and stuff. Oh boy, that looks hideous. Like, why have facial hair? Why put the hair there if it's going to look like that? Now, can't you do something about that? Can't you fix that? Can't you fix that? I guess so. I'm not a fan of facial hair. All right, let me just go on and say that. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan. It just looks like everybody. Oh man, your face is supposed to have it. You know what I feel like having a beard, and it's going to sound really grim, but I'll let somebody take a guess what it feels like to have like a goatee or anything like that. Some people might be like, man, you're weird, buddy. And you know what I have to say about that? So are you. And you might be thinking to yourself, Mel, how are they weird? Well, let me explain how these people are weird. Here's how they're weird, right? They like to look at other men when they're in the urinal, stare them in the eyes and say, how you doing, buddy? They like to do that. How you doing? You doing all right? Don't talk to me. I'm in the middle of a pee. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Sounds like you're a little dehydrated. You looking at my stuff? What are you doing, sir? Who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing? Why are you in my space? That man's in my space. Get out of my space. I hope you guys are enjoying the show tonight. Tonight's show is brought to you by the letter H and the number 732,463. All proceeds from this show go to the Boys and Girls Club of the Quadriplegic Robot Repair Fund. Only you can help robots with displaced parts find a way to be back to being a whole beep bop boop. We have raised enough money to put one robot back together. That was my toaster in the kitchen. I thank you all very much for your support and us being able to get that back up and rolling again. He's back to making toast, but he's still screaming in there. We haven't been able to get that fixed, but one day we will find a cure for screamatosis of electronics. One day we will find a cure. One day. For the S. I want to live in an America where my appliances aren't sick and being touched all the time. I want to live in a country where my stove can be turned on full blast and I don't have to worry about the door possibly falling into the wrong hands, meaning that it will just take its own self off and run down the street. I want to live in a country where my toaster oven can be wireless and I can cook without being electrocuted. I want it all, and I want it now. I would like my food when I order it to look exactly like the picture. I'm tired of getting things that don't look like what I ordered. Why do you want to play these nasty games? Why does this burger not look like what I ordered? Why are these pants not looking like the way they were in the catalog? I saw these online. Why do they not look the way I saw them online? Why are the things that I order always look different than when I receive them? Are you messing with me? Am I on the list? I go to Ross. What do you find at Ross? I'll tell you what I find at Ross. Last time I went to Ross, I found a guy named Ross there, and that man, he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I came here to pick you up because I came to Ross looking for clothes." He said, "Get your hands off of me." It was a confusing situation. I didn't like it. He didn't like it either. Then I had to go for the stun gun, and then that's when everything got rough. He was like, no, please don't take me. And I said, is for science. You know what this is. We went back and forth. Then the man came out. It was a mess. It was all a mess. Everything was bad. It was all bad. Nothing good came from that. That was a cluster of no. The whole situation was full of no behavior. All right. Well, it's almost time, guys. Well, I can probably get one more. I think I can get at least get the Duchess. I can get her mostly drawn. Oh, her coloring that popped out. Uh-oh. I'm back. Let's try it again with the show. Okay, cool. Well, you just made it back. You got 5 more minutes before it's time to vamos and go run off into the sunset. If you guys like the content that I create and you're new here or just watching, definitely hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. I know I didn't say it earlier on, but you know, I kind of like to let people just enjoy themselves a little bit. Maybe that's counterproductive with me, because I just let people just enjoy themselves and I'm not all just boom, 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 boom about it all the time. But, you know, oh well. Yeah, it's like Mel is like, are you surprised? He's like, are you shocked at this? Like, I've never seen that before in my life. You look surprised. Yeah, because you know someone's getting grabbed up by the leg and another person getting snatched up by the face. There's going to be some really crazy stuff in here. But I want to save it. I want to call this backyard. There we go. Well, I guess you know what that means. It's time to go back to the other screen. Oh no. Too bad we were having fun tonight, huh? Uh-oh. Oh man. Look at the time. It's 9:30. The man's very pleased. What was that? He said, you guys are showing spectacular yes behavior. He is very thrilled and pleased with that. And he said the yes is always happy to have new people join. So don't be afraid. You know, we embrace the madness of art. And we do crazy things. And I draw and paint crazy things. But right now I'm doing things for spectacular and amazing new adventures I'm going on. Like events that are coming up and different things like that. But normally I do monsters, creatures, and pretty chippy things and all that in between. Plus, I got something that I want to show you guys. So, we got 2 other paintings here that I'm working on. I had to set them up because of getting them situated. But this one is probably going to be the next thing that's going to be a big piece, because Terminator is almost done. As you can see, it's taken down because I got the faces ready to carve and mold. And that means that the Terminator painting is almost ready to be varnished and all that, which is good. Probably one more month and then it's ready to go. So, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you for being the best part of the show. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, subscribe, and always stay mad. Motivational word of the day. If it's not serving you any purpose, and if it's not benefiting you in your life, maybe you don't need it. I don't know, maybe that helps somebody. If it's not serving you any purpose, and it's not bringing you any joy, and it's not doing anything to help you in your life, whatever it is, people, things, objects, jobs, it ain't worth it. Time's too short to waste on stupid stuff. That's one commodity you'll never get back. You can always get money. You can always regain things. You'll never get time. Oh, well, anyways, see you later. Bye. Till next time.